All right. What is up, everyone? The slow clap.
Yes.
Yes, for
impressed.
WWE.
I'm impressed.
Welcome, everyone, to Smark, guys.
Quite impressed.
And you know, I'm Darkside Phil. Of course, with me, as always, is John Rambo.
Hello.
And, you know, we have some times on this show. We've been doing this for, what, 3 years? Something like that?
Yeah.
We've seen some high highs, and we've seen some low lows.
Yes.
You know, we see our peaks and valleys. And sometimes we've got shows that are sometimes there's some nice, good things to say.
Yeah.
Very rarely.
Not very often.
But this will not be one of those shows. In fact, this show will probably, I would believe, go down in infamy.
I heard people are upset.
They're very upset.
I heard people are really mad.
They are.
What's going on here?
Well, John, Jesse Eisenberg has been cast as Lex Luthor.
Shit.
And so this week will forever live in infamy.
Yeah. It's funny because last Sunday night, as I said, I wasn't going to watch the shows. I don't really watch the shows
Talking about
that
the
often.
Royal Rumble. The
Yeah,
Royal
yeah.
Rumble pay-per-view, right.
And I'm sitting back, my feet up. I got a nice lemonade. Freshly squeezed, was quite good.
Wow, freshly squeezed.
Straw.
How'd you do that in the winter? He
I'm not
freshly
kidding.
squeezed his own lemonade.
Well, I didn't really do it.
In the middle of the winter.
It's all lies. But I'm relaxing, enjoying myself, not stressed or being upset about something I paid for or anything like that. And then I see all of a sudden the explosion that occurs on the Twitter machine. People
Oh my God, it was
losing
nuts.
their minds.
It was nuts.
But my question is, what did you think? like ask yourself this: when was the last time you were genuinely excited about something WWE was doing? You invested money in it, you invested emotion,
And you weren't disappointed.
and it actually turned out to be what you hoped or more.
Oh,
So
boy.
to be so mad, like I don't know.
Oh boy.
I guess
All
people want to believe.
How about this? Let's do this.
Yeah.
Because we are dressed in black. This is the funeral for WWE.
Ooh,
Funeral for a
yes,
friend. We're burying them this week.
My Undertaker.
Officially, that's why we're all emoed out. All right, but before we get there, let's talk about the one positive thing that happened this week in pro wrestling.
Okay, and what is this?
Jake the Snake is being inducted into the Hall of Fame. He's the next
great.
inductee.
That's good.
Great. He's a great from back in the
But
day.
I already buried the whole thing last week when I said that it doesn't really matter because it's just who's going to sign their contract, and that's what they like.
Trying to do something to turn this around, at least give people a spark of hope, and you've crushed it.
Look, I can't be a hypocrite. I have to stick with what I said.
All right, so I guess let's get into it. Let's talk about the huge controversy that happened this week in pro wrestling, WWE in particular, with the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Now, last week we gave our predictions for this, right?
Yes.
And if you remember correctly, when we were giving our predictions, we said Bray Wyatt is going to go over on Daniel Bryan, and then I said
he had to.
Right. In order to even have that anything to go with the Wyatt family anymore, he had to have a win here, right? A legit win. And at that point, I had said, well, I'm just upset because why are they putting Bryan into this program with the Wyatts and he's not in the Rumble? To which you raised the point and said,
I thought he'd at least be in.
You know, he could be in. Maybe, he'll
That's
duty.
And then you saw what they did is they put Bryan first.
Right.
First match.
Curtain jerks.
Get it out of the way, and then everyone will forget about him. Won't even be in the Rumble.
The broom, sweep them out of the way so that we can pretend like that never happened.
And then,
right.
So,
yes. Now, what ended up happening was quite different. So let's talk about the Royal Rumble card and the results. First of all, Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt, match of the night by far. And that's actually hard to do when you're in the Royal Rumble and you have the Rumble match. Typically, there's enough spots and things in the Rumble that you can say, oh, that was, it really, even if the winner was not who you wanted or expected, usually there's enough to entertain you during the Rumble match. I have to say, for the first time in a long time, I thought that the opening match was match of the night. This is the first match where Bray Wyatt actually was able to wrestle. They didn't have the fucking Wyatt family interfering. He put on a show and he showed that he has endurance, he can do great matches, he can do spots, he can perform. This is what, if they'd done this with Bray from day one, people probably would have liked them.
Yeah, sometimes
it's
all, when the guy has the right tools, sometimes that's all it takes is you put him out there to have good matches and to talk and to just do basic stuff,
Right.
Like, yeah, they could have done this the whole time. It didn't have to be Bryan, the one that they have to do this,
True.
Sacrificial lamb, and
Right.
didn't have to do the storyline where he turns heel and, oh my God, he was pretending and all that nonsense.
Right, which makes no
put
sense.
him out, you have solid matches and you let him speak,
Right, and the match was great. Lots of cool spots in this match. The finish comes when Bray actually does the Sister Abigail for Bryan into the ring barrier, So it's like, boom, he's like knocked out. Then he puts him in the ring and does it again. So it's a double finisher, basically. And he goes over Bryan. Crowd's hot, so hot, right, for Bryan. Like, you can tell.
Yeah.
This is a Pittsburgh crowd, so typically you wouldn't expect them to be hot, but this crowd loves Bryan. Okay.
Well, it's like that's what they'll always have these little excuses they make about things. Oh, those are the internet fans in New York or London or whatever, Canada, whatever.
Right.
But it's Pittsburgh. It's not really like known to be this like hotbed of insider fans or something. It's pretty much commonplace.
Right. So next match was literally exactly what we said it would be. Brock Lesnar versus Big Show. Not a real match at all, which is what we said. We said this two can't put on a real match. It's probably going to be a couple heavy-hitting things, and then it'll be over. It's exactly what happened.
I still don't think Brock every match he's had has been a no rules match.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Like 2 years he's been back.
And this wasn't even a no rules match. He just decided to do it anyway, and they didn't do anything about it. Like, when have you ever seen a match where before the match starts, he does like 14 chair shots to the opponent, and then they start the match? Like, when did you ever even see that? You would think that they were going to throw this match out, but no. So Brock comes out, gets a chair, beats the shit out of Big Show, right? Like, literally wails on him. Match starts for some reason. What? I thought the ref was supposed to make sure everything was okay. I don't get that. Big Show knockout punches him, so he's like staggered, and he then F5s Big Show and then beats the shit out of him with like 4 chairs. The chairs are coming apart. So it's a good 15 minutes, but it's only because all he does is chair shots. I think the whole match is just chair shots.
Yeah.
And I think they were, he F5'd Big Show. Yeah, he did a decade ago, too.
I saw all kinds of different, some people really liked it, some people said it wasn't a match, it was just a segment.
Yeah.
Some people said they liked it, so I don't know, it seemed like it was...
It did exactly what we said
it needed to do. It's what it is.
Yeah, it has to put over Brock, because we haven't seen him for a while.
And that's okay.
Puts Brock over.
Yeah, that was never going to be a great thing anyway, so that's
right.
okay.
We knew the build-up of all the bullshit on Raw, I'm throwing Brock around, was nonsense anyway. The next match, everyone's surprised, the next match is the title match. You might be saying, well, wait a minute, what about the tag team titles, which were billed on the card all week? New Age Outlaws against the defending Rhodes Brothers. They made this decision during the week and never really publicly talked about it to make this the pre-show. So a lot of people who went and spent $50 on this pay-per-view didn't even get to see a match that they thought they had paid to see because they stupidly made a pre-show match.
Yeah, I saw it maybe like the day before. I think they or the morning of or something.
Well, you remember we simulated the matches in WWE 2K14 last week, and on the website the day we simulated Saturday, it didn't say it was a pre-show match. It didn't.
Yeah, this was that was a disgraceful thing. I think they we'll get to this more about this later during Raw. But they basically destroyed the tag division.
Yep.
Within 24 hours, they completely buried the whole thing.
And keep in mind, they've been building it up for like a year now. You've got all these new tag teams coming in. You're like, wow, they could really do some interesting stuff.
Yeah, but people, a lot of people like on the net and elsewhere were like, the best thing about WWE is the tag division right now. It's really good. And I think when people like something, we must destroy it. No, you're supposed to be enjoying Batista's return.
Right.
And the unification of the title.
That's
it. So fuck that entire division.
How dare you respect those people who we've been trying to push for a year?
Bring back these old men to do the same tired gimmick from 100 years ago. And they've been back for, a couple weeks, and then they win the belts.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
They win the belts.
New Age Outlaws have been back for 3 weeks, now they win the belts.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, sure, if that's really where you're going, what you want to do. And the funny thing is, their gimmick, they're still DX, which doesn't exist. They're doing DX. They're doing the DX intro, wearing DX shirts.
Their gimmick is like they're heels, but they don't know they're heels or something, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's really...
Yeah, they're the heels, but they think they're the faces. They're still doing the old intro.
And you don't want to be seeing these guys in 2014. Just think about that, man.
I don't know. It's bad. So they win the tag titles off pay-per-view.
That's what you get. Of all the teams that they could have, or with combinations of guys they have on their roster, or they could have had on their roster, and things they could have done, that's what you get.
Right. So let's talk about the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. Orton defending against Cena.
And you ordered the pay-per-view, right?
I did.
You should mention that.
I paid for this pay-per-view.
You watched the whole thing and you ordered it.
I did.
I heard the crowd was going bananas during the title match.
It was basically here's what happened.
Heavyweight.
Here's what happened. So the match is exactly the same match, and I swear to God, it's the same match that Cena and Orton have had about 12 times now. Because you can't do too much else with these two.
With those guys, yeah.
They're doing the same thing where, I hit my finisher.
Those guys are both limited
you hit your finisher.
Now they're together for the 50th time.
Right. They're kicking out of each other's finishers constantly. They're escaping each other's holds constantly. And, again, if this was the first time you'd ever seen this match, you might have liked it. But if you've been watching a WWE product for several years like us, it's horrible. It's boring. So the crowd went apeshit during this match.
Again, Pittsburgh, it's not, like we said before,
Right.
You know?
So Daniel Bryan, we want refunds. Boring.
And I heard the most nasty chant of all. We want divas.
They did that one. Went on
Which is
too.
the most insulting
We want
chant
divas.
ever.
Basically every annoying chant that you could do to annoy the two in the ring because they just hated this match. And I'll be honest, I did too. I don't care about this match. No one does. No one wants those two in the main event picture. This was a complete waste of a match to begin with. So of course, in true WWE fashion, let's go ahead and make it even worse. Will there be an actual outcome? Of course not. The lights go out, which I don't know. People have been saying it's weird, the reports of how they do this Wyatt's thing now. That, like, sometimes the lights go out, sometimes they don't. Sometimes the Wyatts just walk out. And
What
like,
the hell? What?
Yeah, like, the lights don't actually go out. Because
What
you know on
happened
TV,
here?
they do the blurry screen bullshit. They go like, oh, and they show the fucking lamb head or whatever.
Yeah.
So they just appear.
They're
The Wyatts
hackers.
just appear near the ring. And Cena gets distracted. Oh, no. So that hits Orton hits the RKO and wins. And it's like...
So that's going to start the program with the Bray Wyatt and Cena. You know, so there you go. So Bray Wyatt got a nice bump from the opening match. The Wyatts are looking good for a little bit, and they'll work at Cena, and Cena always buries everyone.
Right.
So that will be squandered by WrestleMania when he loses to him.
Right.
But did they ever give an explanation why he attacked him?
Nope. Not yet.
This is the problem. Like,
Not yet.
This
Nope.
just pisses me off with the Wyatts because they just attack people, and they don't ever give them a reason.
Right.
They just give them like catchphrases. Devil made me do it. Follow the buzzer. What do you say? The new order or something?
Yeah.
The new world.
The dawn of the new world.
You gotta get. It's gotta be a little more than this.
What are you talking about? What
Like
the
you
fuck?
gotta give a little more of a storyline explanation why you're just. I'm gonna attack the Miz. I'm gonna attack Kofi. I'm gonna attack Daniel Bryan and Punk.
Bad.
And then okay. I'm gonna attack Cena now.
Yeah, and it makes no sense. And they,
They
did
just
nothing,
do it.
They did nothing this week to elaborate or explain what was
They
the
just
pro-
they don't
point.
want to bother. They just go. These guys are crazy, and they just do it.
So, excuse me. Now you've got the Rumble match, and I don't know. Basically, here was the deal: everyone got booed, except for two people. And during the course of this match, you keep asking yourself, "Gee, who's going to be the next Rumble entrant?" And some of the Rumble entrants just made absolutely no sense, which I think pissed people off because when you've got legitimate people like Xavier Woods is this up and comer. They've been putting him on TV. He was announced for the Rumble. Wasn't in the Rumble.
Bad news, Barrett.
Bad news, Barrett.
What about me?
He's getting some. He's
Bad
actually
news.
getting some internet traction. He's getting like memes and stuff for being made about Bad News Barrett.
Yeah.
Not in the Rumble.
What?
Daniel Bryan, who everyone thought, oh, he'll do double duty. He was just voted Superstar of the Year. He's white hot. The whole crowd's cheering for him. It's the only person they want to see. Not in the Rumble. And it's like, huh? Like, you got a white hot crowd for weeks. Everyone's chanting Daniel Bryan. They voted him Superstar of the Year. They want to see him in high-profile matches, and you don't put him in the Royal Rumble. And this is what, like, the internet went nuts. You know, obviously the crowd there went nuts. But now, let's talk about who was in the Royal Rumble. Kevin Nash. He was deserving of a spot, right?
Yeah.
You know? El Torito. Wow.
Yeah, it's a joke. The
You know,
whole
he earned
thing's
it.
a joke.
And, of course, JBL. Now, the one thing about JBL that people don't know is that the rumor is that it was actually supposed to be Jim Duggan. Jim Duggan was there doing commentary, like the Legends commentary for the pre-show. And he was supposed to be in the Rumble as one of the surprise entrants. And basically he told WWE, no, I don't want to do it. Like, I'm old. I can't fucking do this. I might be hurt.
And he's got some kind of injury, too.
Yeah, that's what he said.
He was trying to raise money, I think, recently.
It's weird. It's like, why, I'm not going to be in the Rumble. So that he told them no, and then last minute they were like, oh shit, we got to do something else, which is why JBL was so
I don't know.
weird.
They always do that shit, though. They was the one year like Lawler and Cole, and
Yes.
like everyone was in
that
it.
year when they had that WrestleMania match, Lawler and Cole
That's
were
the
in the
same.
Rumble.
I just think it's the same thing again.
So JBL stands up, goes to the ring, steps in, and immediately gets taken out, like immediately. So it wasn't like, again. So here's spots, legitimate spots for people who could, could be a push for them. It's their time to shine, and they don't get it. But you get these guys in the Rumble, and it's like,
Yeah. I heard Ziggler came out, big pop.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately thrown out.
Yeah, he came out,
It was
big
like,
pop.
I was like, oh, you like that guy?
Was in there
huh?
for a little bit, and he was one of the ones that actually got eliminated earlier
Oh,
on.
they like him. All
And
right,
people were like,
take him
huh?
out, take him out immediately.
I think it was almost like the WWE went out of their way this pay-per-view to piss people off. That and anyone who you like must get squashed because we've got our own personal agenda.
They don't look at it that way. They're there to entertain themselves, This is what we want. This is what we're doing.
So, of course, the story of the match, which, of course, as you said last week, they told you on Raw that Batista was going to win. Why you thought anyone else was going to win?
Yeah, if you watched the Raw before the show, they pretty much told you, watch this show to see him win.
Right.
He's back. They did the thing with him and Orton in the ring, which has already set up the match.
Right.
Which is going to happen, and then so.
So Batista comes out, looks awful, by the way. Looks like he's emaciated at this point.
Oh, he's old.
Everything's sagging in the wrong spots. His legs are tiny. He's gassed. Basically, the worst possible scenario for someone who's supposed to be coming back and carrying.
They really screwed up with this Batista. Yeah, they really screwed up with this Batista thing.
It's a bad choice.
They're insane.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him. I think the fans want to see Batista. I think the fans like Batista. They want him on the thing, doing something. They respect what he's done. I think all that's true. I think he does bring something to the table. The problem is how he's being used. They don't want to see him winning the Rumble and winning the title at WrestleMania. It's such a huge role. Walking in off the street in terrible condition, looking very old, and then just getting everything after years of being away. I mean, that's the problem people have, I believe.
And I think at this point, people are tired. Think of the past 2 WrestleManias. That's what it was. It was The Rock walking in, getting a paycheck.
But this is even worse because this is Batista. And The Rock, I could kind of defend it because he did pop the ratings for everything he was on. And he looked good, and at least, okay, this guy could be a main eventer in the condition he was in. Batista just looks bad. And the only reason Batista was pushed, let's be honest, way back when, is because of his physical appearance. And he doesn't even have that.
That's
so
true.
There's no way you could even, there's no explanation for this.
Well, so what happens is, first of all, Punk starts out at number 1, goes the distance, becomes Final 4. Now, during the course of the Rumble match, Kane is an entrant. And now, here's what I don't understand. So Kane is supposed to be corporate Kane, right? Now, if Kane knows he's in the Rumble, couldn't he have bothered to get ring gear? And I'm not saying he had to dress like Kane. Couldn't he have put on a pair of sweatpants? He comes out in fucking slacks.
Yeah, I saw the pictures, just like...
dress pants.
A bald dude with no shirt and pants.
Right, and he looks weird. Because now this is the first time, honestly, we've seen Kane without a shirt completely on, you know what I mean, in a while. Because he's always had the suit for the past few years. I mean the Kane outfit, and now he's been wearing a business suit. So you haven't seen him. He's ripped. His stomach is like ripped, and you're like, this is so odd. He's so out of place. He doesn't even look like a wrestler. He looks like a weird dude. And so Punk eliminates him, right? So of course the story of the match. So Daniel Bryan's not in the Rumble yet. You're thinking, well, let's cheer for Punk, and that's really what it became. Like the whole crowd was pro Punk for most of the Rumble. And then all of a sudden, near the end of the Rumble, there's only like the Final 4. Kane comes back and eliminates him. And it's like, now wait a minute. This has been done before. So I'm not going to say, oh, this is bad or anything. And we even said last week, this is probably what they're going to do. Kane will come.
It was very predictable.
And eliminate. But if you're going to do it at the beginning of the Rumble. Okay. He's in the Rumble. All right. Maybe you're up to like number 10. Kane comes out and eliminates him. All right.
Yeah.
Don't have Kane in the Rumble, eliminated, comes back later
Phil,
for no reason.
Don't you see? That's drama. We're creating.
But it's not.
We're creating entertainment.
That's not
that's
entertainment.
That's what they think.
That's called.
We're creating drama, and is he going to win or not?
Give you the hope that your hero can win, just to take it away and make you disappointed.
And
that's not entertainment. That's disappointment.
And that's such a bad gimmick or storyline to do. It's just been done so many times.
Super cliche.
Super cliche garbage. And then what was this going to lead to? Punk and Kane matches. Oh boy.
So
what a payoff for that. Yeah, it's like one thing to like you said, like do it quick, because if you're going to do that, there's got to be a payoff.
Right.
Because you pissed everyone off. But the payoff was Punk and Kane.
Right.
But that was the time.
It wouldn't be anything that anyone wants to see.
Right.
So it's stupid. And again, why are people upset? That's why. If you're going to do your agenda, do it, but do it in a way so we can sweep it away and we can concentrate on other shit.
They don't see it that way.
Don't give people the hope that something could happen and then just crush them at the last fucking second.
They think we're not doing wrestling. We're doing entertainment. This is storytelling.
Awful. You see? So really what it ended up becoming near the end of the match was the whole Shield was still in there.
Yeah.
And near the end of the match, Dean Ambrose tries to eliminate Roman Reigns. So, of course, now Seth Rollins breaks it up and stops it. So then, of course, Roman Reigns is flaming pissed later on. Basically, the two, Seth and Dean Ambrose, are trying to eliminate someone. I think it was Sheamus. And so Roman Reigns
came back, you should mention.
Roman Reigns eliminates all of them at once. Right? Just, whoop, eliminates them all. So Sheamus does come back during the Rumble, but doesn't really do much. So I don't know why it's really
And then
a big deal.
suddenly, Batista turned heel, and Roman Reigns was a face all of a sudden.
Right. Well, here's what happened. Roman Reigns eliminates a record 12 people during the Rumble. Breaks the record. That's the new record now. Breaks Kane's record.
I guess that's the only good spot of the Rumble is that they kind of elevated him.
Right. You know? Roman Reigns is now getting a good push from this Rumble.
He's getting pushed because he's big. It's pretty much the reason why.
Yeah, that's true.
So he'll be the Batista in 10 years. Comes back and.
So it ends up being the final two is Roman Reigns and Batista. And, of course, now the crowd... Well, let's see. First of all, number 30, we should mention. Number 30 was Rey Mysterio, and everyone was hoping it was Daniel Bryan. So poor Rey comes out to monstrous boos.
And that's disgraceful, man. To even put him in that position where that's going to happen to him, because he's been around a long time.
Yeah, what did he do? He didn't do anything.
What did he ever do? He deserves a lot better than that. So he's got to be the one that's got to go out there and do his posing and everything, where everyone boos him.
Right.
And then they're not really booing him. They're booing the fact that it wasn't Bryan, but... You know what I'm saying? That's how it comes across.
So how cool would it have been if, like, number 30 was Barrett? And it's 30, right? And his podium comes up. And he goes,
bad news.
I've got some bad news. Daniel Bryan's not in the Rumble, but I am. And he comes in,
Yeah, it just shows...
That would have been,
At least it's something, but it just shows how out of touch they are with the audience and with everything, We could have Ray come out, and that'll be fine.
Yeah, no one will care. Whatever. So poor Ray gets all these boos. Eventually he gets eliminated anyway. So the final two, Roman Reigns and Batista. Now, this could have been good, but apparently from all reports what happened was Batista was so gassed by the end of the match, he had nothing left. And so he had to finish this early. So they do one or two spots. Like Batista looks like he's going to throw Roman over. No, Roman recovers.
And spears or something.
Roman does it. Oh my God, yeah.
And Roman's a lot better.
Yeah, so Batista spears Roman. He misses. He spears his leg. He grabs his leg literally and spears the leg only.
That's how you do it.
And even in the commentary is like, oh, the spear was kind of deflected there. Like they're trying to save it. So then Roman spears him.
Got tripped.
Oh my God, spears him. Just looks amazing. The spears that he does to Batista. And then finally what happens is Roman picks him up, looks like he's going to throw him out, and they do the classic whoop spot where Batista reversals him and tosses him out instead. Now, reports are saying it was supposed to be like almost 5 minutes where these guys were supposed to go back and forth and really put over Roman and Batista, but Dave was so gassed that he just threw the whole fucking thing out. And then after the match, when he went backstage, Vince ripped him a new asshole and said, why did you do that? We wrote this specifically for you. And he's like, I was too tired. So, it is what it is. Batista wins. And then to make matters worse, so the whole crowd, monstrous boos. And it's funny because,
typically... his music up like crazy. Yeah.
Right, they turn the music up. They're pretending like no one's booing, even though the whole crowd is booing. And he points at the WrestleMania sign, and he does his poses. The whole crowd's like, fuck this, boo, boo. So then as they go off the air, Batista's walking up the ramp, and fans are throwing shit at him. Fans are, like, swearing at him, fuck you, Dave Batista. So he goes up into the crowd and starts going like this to everyone in the crowd. And they took pictures of it and put it on Twitter of him going like this. Then he goes to the top of the ramp, and he goes like this. Yes, 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 just like this to mock everyone. So, I mean, wow, this is your new babyface headlining WrestleMania, everyone, Dave Batista.
It's funny because the top three guys, no one likes.
Right.
Cena, Orton, Batista.
Everyone hates them.
And it's not because of those guys. If they just don't like where they are, I think,
Yeah.
The people don't like where these guys are and being positioned.
Would you like to see Cena, Orton, and Batista in a cool triple threat match at WrestleMania if it wasn't for the title?
Okay, maybe.
I would like to see that.
But maybe.
No, I would still like to see that.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah. They could put on a show.
Yeah, Batista and Orton have history. They could have a match. It's not for the belt.
But why does it have to be for the title? Why does Daniel Bryan have to be in the undercard?
Because that's what they want. And there's no real explanation beyond that,
So now we talked a half an hour about the Royal Rumble.
What you like, they don't care. They don't care about that.
So after the Royal Rumble, huge internet backlash. Everyone on the internet's going nuts. Fuck this. What the hell happened? How could you not have Bryan in the Rumble? Which, again, I was kind of cynical last week. I didn't think he would be in the Rumble. I thought that they were doing what they were doing.
Well, they never said he was in it.
Right. They never said that. Causes some people, some big people in wrestling to kind of start speaking up. And like you said, I think Jim Ross said something. A few people said something.
Foley went ape shit.
Mick Foley, of all people, goes nuts. Basically on Twitter says, I guess the WWE hates their own fans. Why not put the guy who everyone is cheering for in the Royal Rumble? He's the guy who should have the top spot. Foley then the next day went and destroyed his TV with a baseball bat and made a YouTube video that went viral. His son made a ridiculously
Dewey.
ridiculously just ripped the WWE a new asshole,
King
basically,
Dewey.
and Triple H. And it basically says, my dad carried your company in the Attitude Era, but you pushed him. Why is it that the people who could be my dad in this day and age, you destroy them? This is what everyone wants. Everyone asks for it. Imagine when people were cheating for Foley, if you just had Foley never do anything. But this is what you're doing to your talent now. Like, what kind of a company? My dad built the company to what it is, and now you're destroying it. What are you doing?
Yeah.
So, huge internet backlash regarding this, and everyone's wondering, what the hell's going to happen tomorrow on Raw? What could they do with this? Because
which is actually part of the problem. Because if the best way to get the message across is to not watch, but I think a lot of people just go
right. Oh, gotta watch
see.
Raw, and I guarantee you, I don't know, I haven't seen it, but I guarantee you, Raw had like high ratings. I'm sure they did.
I don't think I even noticed it, but I mean, going back to the whole issue of this has been going on for a long time now.
Right.
Daniel Bryan, he's RVD, he's Jericho, he's
Yep.
Edge, he's CM Punk, who's now gone. We'll get to that.
We'll get to that because
he's just the next one where the fans. Something gets over, the fans like something, and they go, no, that's not for him. This is the guy. We'll do this again. Or this guy from the past is getting this. Because that's how they operate. It's a monopoly company, Mm-hmm. And it's sad because they could do so much great stuff. They have the potential to do such great things where they have so much money, they could hire anything
so
or
much
do
talent.
anything.
They have so much talent that they squander.
Their politics and their egos of the people that run the company screw the whole thing over. And quite frankly, I don't want to watch it ever again. But the people that run the thing, they make a show that they want to see,
right?
And in which they have power.
It's like we were saying,
and they can perform and get over.
It's like we were saying before the show. We were talking off camera about this. It's almost like Vince, Steph, Triple H. They have like this Our Gang little boys club.
That's what it is.
And they go into their little clubhouse.
That's what it's always been.
And they sit there. Ooh, what do we want to see? Ooh, I want to bring back my friend Dave Batista. I haven't seen him in a few years. Let's just have him. Give him millions to come in. Oh, I want to see my friend Kevin Nash in the Rumble.
Give him a payday.
Give him a payday. He'll do nothing in the Rumble, but put him in the Rumble. And it's like, no, you have a business. You have to have responsibility.
They have their own idea. They're very paranoid and insecure because they have this idea of what pro wrestling should be. And then anything that will alter that or make people think, well, wait a second, they have to destroy it.
Yep.
So to have a guy who's a technical wrestler who's not jacked, who's smaller, be a champion and be a top guy for a long period of time, wait a second, this goes back on our idea of what pro wrestling is. We can't allow this to happen. Turn him heel for 2 weeks.
Right.
Have him win the title and lose it immediately.
Drop it immediately.
So that's what it is, man. And it's a monopoly system. There's no one that could challenge them. TNA is so far away.
Yep.
Everything else, no one even knows it exists. Even though a lot of it's very good and better than what they do, people don't even know how to get it or find it or anything. And they feel they can do whatever they want, and people are going to keep watching, which is probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, because now they want to see what's going to happen with Daniel Bryan.
I'm so bad. I'm going to buy WrestleMania now. And then complain afterwards when it's
right
when Batista wins the title, and so I think until people really just stop watching it, you're just gonna keep getting the same results.
And the thing that makes it sad is that
I'm not telling you not to watch or anything like that. How dare you tell me that? That's my 2 cents.
This is a big anniversary WrestleMania 30. I mean, that's an anniversary. That's a big event. And now it's kind of like deflated because this is supposed to be the road to WrestleMania.
WrestleMania 30,
and everyone's kind of like
Batista winning the belt. Wow.
Seriously, like what the hell?
It all led to this, ladies and gentlemen.
And I'll be honest, I thought last year's WrestleMania was bad, but this is really stacking up to be some shit this year. Let me tell you. You go to New Orleans, you're gonna stink that fucking place up, man.
And they're really in trouble now because I think, like you said, that was Pittsburgh, and there's a revolution now in the audience, and it's all over. It's not just in certain areas. And
just the other thing is the timing. They're right now trying to push a new network at the end of this month. In 1 month's time, they're launching this WWE Network. Why would anyone buy it if they're so deflated? If they just spent $50 on a pay-per-view that's a piece of shit, and they're pushing their own bullshit agendas that no one wants to see, and they're being ignored. You're actually being ignored. What other business on the planet does the customer directly give you feedback in your face and you say, fuck you, I know better than you? Well, I know a place. No, it does. It's called YouTube and Google. But outside of YouTube and Google, no one else does it. But again, similar situation. YouTube and Google, they're a monopoly. They're the biggest video sharing website. They know they're the big dog. They can say fuck you and do whatever they want because they know next day people will come back. Same with WWE. They know they're the big ones. They know they're going to get the viewership no matter what. So they fuck over the customer. All right.
It's funny. It's bizarre because there's money that they don't want, basically.
Yeah,
that's why I say that they're so insecure and everything, because they'd rather maintain this little idea, this idea of what it's supposed to be, instead of make money and like entertain the fans that come. You know, what happens if Bryan wins the belt and holds it for a couple months?
That's it.
They sell T-shirts.
No,
they can make a new shirt.
It's over. That's it.
It's the end of
wrestling. Wrestling will end.
It's the end of
Wrestling D-Day.
I mean, it's just insanity, man.
It's like they think that the earth will open up and freaking Beelzebub will say, "Whoa, the fuck no! Bryan's the champion. It's over."
like you said.
I don't know.
It's just bad business, man. Like,
all right.
Let's say, like, 'cause you have a business, right? You have your own business.
Yes.
Let's say you do some video, something happens in this video. I don't know, anything, and this is like amazing. People love it. It gets millions of views because of this one thing, but you don't really like it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you then go, I'll never do that again because I don't like it, or would you say, maybe I'll do that a few more times because people like it. People are telling me they really love it.
Okay.
I think that's what most people be like. Okay.
It's an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
It's an interesting perspective. All right. All right. So now let's talk about everything else that happened because we've been talking now for over half an hour about the Royal Rumble, and I think we need to move on. So of course, in typical WWE fashion, when you have something like this, now of course, for us, we'd say, well, what a horrible occurrence. The Royal Rumble was a flop. The internet hates WWE, right? No. WWE management, Vince, Triple H, they immediately say, this is great. We've got all this buzz around us
that's
now.
That's another thing, yeah.
I can't believe it. It's the worst Rumble ever, and we've got all these people talking about us. Let's turn it into a plot line so that you can steal the thunder.
Well,
right?
They kind of had to do something because they would have, again, the next night would have been all chance, would have been all...
Right.
You know, the revolution would have occurred. So then they had to try to turn it into, oh, he wasn't in the Rumble because
the plot now,
they didn't want him in it, and, you know,
right. Which was true, but anyway. So, immediately, the whole plot line with Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family against Daniel Bryan is dropped.
Yeah, well, they were Cena now to get
rid of it.
To get buried by him.
Right. So the show opens up with Triple H and Stephanie coming out to insane boos. It's insane. Everyone's so ripping pissed at them. And they turn it into a work. Now, let me say something. Typically, if you're going to do a work, all right, it could work. You know, they're supposed to be the heels, the authority, right? They're holding everyone back. They're doing evil things. But when you have a legitimate emotion that came out of your customer base, it's probably not apropos the night after to basically making direct fun of them. And so Triple H gets on the mic and he goes, "Oh, what's wrong, everyone?" He says it like this, too. I'm not even kidding. This is how he said it.
I don't believe you.
"What's wrong, everyone? Did you not get what you wanted last night?" And the whole crowd, like, they could fucking lynched him. Like, what is he thinking? That's not funny. It's not heelish. No, this is not the time to do that shit. Like, you're making fun of your customer base who's telling you what they want. You basically pissed in their mouths, and now you're going to make fun of them the next night? It's like, huh? And they do this. So the whole thing is, we kept Bryan out of the Rumble because we didn't want him to do double duty and get hurt because he's been hurt in recent weeks. And our buddy Dave did a good job in the Rumble. We know you all love seeing him at WrestleMania. And, of course, when they say that, everyone boos, you know. And so Bryan comes out. And, of course, the crowd goes nuts. And basically says, first of all, this is the yes movement. I'm calling this the yes movement from now on. And people should continue to do this. Continue to tell the management what you want to see on a nightly basis. Then he says, well, the thing is, I asked you guys repeatedly to be in the Rumble. And you kept telling me no. I couldn't be in the Rumble. And this is your fault. And so Triple H says, well, you know, again, this is your own best interest and you may not understand it. And then, of course, Bryan says, no, I understand it because the thing is you've had me doing double duty every night on Raw. That's why I've been hurt. So it's your fault and you just don't want to hold me back. It's not what's best for business. It's what's worst for Bryan. That's what he said. It was like his little tagline. Not best for business, but worst for Bryan. And then he says, well, if you really want to give the people what they want, put me in the Elimination Chamber match that's coming up, you know, the next pay-per-view. And so it's announced that the main event of the night is going to be Bryan, Sheamus, and Cena against the Shield. Yeah. And whatever team wins the match, that entire team will be in the Elimination Chamber. Okay? Now, obviously, we know immediately the Shield's not going to win because that means there's 4 freaking heels in the chamber. I mean, how stupid would that be? So it's pretty dumb. You already knew what was going to happen in the main event, but I digress. So some matches of the night. We had the Real Americans against Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara. Poor Rey. I really feel bad for him because I don't know what they're going to do with him. They have no program for him. He gets booed at the Rumble. I doubt he's going to be at WrestleMania. Like, what's he going to do?
Maybe he'll.
You know?
I don't know.
He'll be on commentary for the pre-show. There you go.
Yeah.
I really respect that guy.
He'll be on the network.
Fuck me.
Doing some reality show.
Stupid bullshit. So the Real Americans go over. R-Truth defeats Fandango in a completely worthless match.
Oh. Yes.
Batista comes out and confronts Randy Orton.
Yeah.
And basically says, so I told you last week what I'm here for, that title. I won the Rumble. I'm back for it. And by the way, everyone's booing massive boos, right? So you got boos for Randy Orton, boos for Batista, who's supposed to be the babyface. So they have Brock Lesnar come out. And all of a sudden, in this situation, Brock Lesnar becomes the face. He's literally the lesser of three evils at this point. Okay?
Oh, yeah, okay. All right, I was
is.
thinking of something that'll happen later. All right.
Yeah, he's the lesser of three evils. Because
he's actually, like, there's very few guys that are over in the company right now. Punk was one, Bryan, and I think Lesnar's actually over. Like, with the people go, okay, I'd like to see him do something.
Well, when you beat the shit out of the Big Show with
no
chairs for like 15 minutes.
But that's it.
You know.
That's it right now. It's pretty bad.
Right. So he comes out, everyone's cheering him, everyone loves him, and basically Paul Heyman announces, listen, Brock is now taking his spot. He said he would be the number one contender. So it's this simple. The management has a decision to make tonight. Either he wrestles Randy Orton for the title tonight, or he wrestles Batista for the number one contender spot tonight.
He could have just entered the Rumble and won, but
he had to beat up the Big Show with steel chairs instead.
Beat up the Big Show with chairs.
Right. So he says, that's it. We're laying down the law. If the management, you better make a decision tonight, or else. All right. And the segment ends, which is really odd. Ziggler and The Miz have probably one of the most saddest matches I've seen in about 10 years. And the reason I say this is because they were in Cleveland, Ohio for Raw, which is the hometown of both of these stars, right?
Yep.
So you got Ziggler and Miz in what they called the Battle of Cleveland, right? And they're wrestling this match. I don't know what the match was the point. And JBL, all he does the entire time, you could tell it's probably not him, it's them telling him, he runs down Cleveland the entire time. They're like, well, are they actually wrestling for Cleveland? Does the winner own Cleveland? I hope so. So they finally get rid of it. You know, we have to worry about it anymore. It's like, what the fuck? Like, so you got two guys who used to be good workers. They were in high regard of the company. Are in a terrible undercard match, and not to say that there was a bad match wrestling wise, but basically the announcers run the match down to the point where you don't care about it anymore. You know, Cleveland sucks. These guys suck. Everything sucks. That's the whole mentality of this match. So Ziggler goes over, but no one cares. You know what I mean? When that's the match, who would care?
I care.
You know? Terrible. Absolutely terrible. The Usos defeat Ryback. Doesn't really matter because, like we said, the tag division's now destroyed and will be further destroyed, which we will mention coming up.
Yeah.
Alberto Del Rio beats Kofi Kingston. So Kofi Kingston, who 2 weeks ago cleanly pinned the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, right?
Yeah.
Last week decides to give away his match so that John Cena has a chance at revenge. This week loses cleanly to Alberto Del Rio. So, forget it. Just like we said. Meant nothing. No push. Bye, Kofi. You had your one spot at the Rumble. See you in freaking Midcard hell. Won't see you at WrestleMania. Maybe he'll be on commentary like he was for WrestleMania 29. When we saw him on commentary there. What a great thing to do to your mid.
There's got to be some sort of a multi-man match at WrestleMania because a lot of guys have no program or nothing. So I think they'll probably do that. Here's a lot of guys. We're a couple other guys.
All right. Now here's the match that I know you wanted to talk about. All
yeah,
right?
we kind of discussed it. They had the Rhodes Brothers versus the New Age Outlaws again, and Lesnar just comes out, just beats the shit out of Cody and Goldust.
Mm-hmm.
That's the end of that.
Yeah, that's it.
They destroyed the tag division. Old men have the belts. The other guys got laid out. Like what's this gonna lead to? Goldust is gonna fight Lesnar now or something? Like there's no point to it.
No, it was a one-off. Like Lesnar's not involved anymore.
Yeah,
I'll tell you because they announced
beat the shit out of those guys. And,
in the middle of the week. They said what's going to happen next week on Raw
Okay.
with the tag titles. So
that's fine,
we'll
but I mean,
talk about it.
you built this division, and what happened here? And the Rhodes Brothers had something going,
right,
with Triple H and Cody.
Oh yeah.
They come back. They have Dusty come out. Then they have the Goldust comes back. What do they do with this? They have the belts for a little while.
Right, now it's nonsense.
And they get destroyed by Lesnar.
No program.
What's going to happen to them next? Honestly,
well, I'll tell you because we know. So
okay.
So first of all, they say the reason Brock did that is because the management didn't make a decision. They didn't put him in a match, so he's just going to do whatever he wants. So, you know how they've been having these backstage interviews with Triple H and Michael Cole?
Yeah.
So they did it this week. They ran it on Main Event for the first time on TV. And Triple H is laughing. Oh, yeah, Brock really screwed those two up, didn't he? Oh,
yeah, even though he's fighting Brock last year at this time.
He's laughing. Oh, this was so hilarious that he interrupted the tag titles, man.
Last year, they were in a bitter feud where he broke his arm and all that stuff. But
It's funny. You know, it's funny.
That never happened.
This is comedy gold.
Yeah.
So Michael Cole says, so what are you going to do about the situation? And Triple H says, all right, I'm going to give them the rematch again. It's going to be in a steel cage on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
So
Billy
Monday,
Gunn in a cage. Can't wait
yeah,
to see that shit.
Billy Gunn and Road Dogg versus the Rhodes Brothers in a cage match
I did
on
hear this,
Monday Night
actually.
Raw.
But that's not the issue, though, man. That's fine. But, like, you just destroyed the two contenders.
Right.
With a guy who they'll never get heat back on him. Like, Goldust isn't going to fight Brock and beat him or anything. Like, they're going to win the tag belts, but Brock destroyed the champions, basically. Like,
yeah.
There's no reason to do that.
All right. We have a 8 Diva match action. The Bellas and the Funkadactyls against AJ, Tamina, Alicia Fox, and Oksana. Naomi, it looks like she's going to be getting the push to be the one to wrestle AJ next for the title, which there hasn't been a title match in how long? Since Caitlyn left.
We want Divas.
So Naomi beats her with the rear view, which is the weirdest finisher ever. She just puts her ass in your face, which some guys, I guess, probably wouldn't have any issue with, but, you know. So it looks like she's getting the rub.
It's ass to mouth.
Ass to mouth, John. All right, and leave it to John to use the most delicate terms.
That's what you're telling me it is.
And then finally, the main event.
I don't make these things up. I'm just reporting it.
John Cena, Daniel Bryan, and Sheamus against The Shield. All right. The winner is all three will be in the elimination chamber. Goes on for about 15 minutes, and you know these have been good matches. Any of these matches, the Shield 6-man tag, are really good. Yeah, immediately, what does WWE say? What we should do? Let's ruin it, right? Let's fucking ruin it.
What happened?
Well, the lights go out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The lights go back on. The Wyatt family's in the ring, and they beat the shit out of the faces for no reason. So
the Shield gets pissed.
The Shield's standing there like, huh? Like literally, they're like, what the fuck? And then they announce, the faces fight off the Wyatt family. They make the announcement, well, the faces won via DQ, and the Shield's like, what the fuck? And they get pissed, like, what is this? Like, what? How is this fair? And that's legit. That's a legitimate great. What the fuck? Like,
yeah, that's pretty bad.
Huh? Like, what? Why? What? It doesn't even make sense. Like, why would you announce that why don't we say, okay, restart the match, or, okay.
Get these assholes out of here or something. Yeah.
It's just like, no, fuck it. It's over.
That's a stupid ending anyway.
A stupid throwaway ending. Now, this is going to lead into SmackDown, by the way, which they screwed up the app. I have to get to the right results here.
Screwed up the app?
Yeah, they screwed it up this week. The results were on the wrong page. They don't have a picture for it. They fucked it up.
Hope they don't screw up that network you got paid money for.
SmackDown opens up this week with The Shield. And they're in the ring, and they're flipping pissed. They're like, this is bullshit. Like, how the hell are we not in the chamber? That wasn't our fault. And they said, you know what? That's it. We want the Wyatt family. And the crowd's like, whoa. Like, wait, this might actually be good. The Wyatts against the Shield could be a good match. So, of course, immediately Triple H has to come out and ruin everything. And says he will not have the match. No, we're not doing this.
I'll do it later on.
Well,
you can't give that away.
He says, the first thing he says, you don't want this. You don't want this match. Trust me. Just listen to me. Take my word for it. You don't want this match.
Yeah, can't have Bray Wyatt come out and talk to them. You got to have Triple H do it.
Makes no sense. Because of course, the Wyatts, they do everything for no reason anyway, so it doesn't make any sense.
The new order is coming. I must attack this guy out of nowhere.
So
I must attack Kofi Kingston now.
What happens is Roman Reigns gets in Triple H's face and says, no, we want this, and we don't care what you think, so we're going to do it whether you like it or not. So Triple H says, all right, if you really want it, at Elimination Chamber, it's going to be the Shield against the Wyatts.
The other two are going to turn on Roman and attack him.
Of course. I mean, it's obvious what's going to happen here. Roman's going to become a face, and, they're going to lose the match because, they'll be turning or whatever. And then he's going to probably have a handicap match at WrestleMania against them or something.
And Dean and Seth, his careers will be in jeopardy because they won't know what to do with them.
Right, they'll have nothing to do with them.
Even though Dean Ambrose is actually, probably, if I had to rate like the top 5 guys they have, he's there. But they just don't really show you a sniff of what he is capable of doing.
Right.
Same with the Seth and a lot of the guys they have.
And the thing is, they've had top quality matches. Think about that match, Seth against Cena. Remember that match? And that was an amazing match. That could have been a pay-per-view quality. It could have been headliner pay-per-view. But they're not going to let him do that shit anymore. It's
as
over.
Far as like a total package goes, like Dean Ambrose has got a lot of things going for him. As far as like a character,
he's got a character.
Yeah.
He's got
right better than anyone they have.
He's got it going.
Since CM Punk is gone.
Unbelievable. Which we'll talk about. Because
Yeah, I
we
know.
can't talk about that till after SmackDown because that's when it actually came out after the taping of SmackDown.
Yeah,
What was going on? So we have a first qualifying match for the Elimination Chamber. It's Antonio Cesaro against Dolph Ziggler.
They're still talking about ass to mouth. That's how delayed this is.
Ass to mouth.
They just got it now.
Delicious. Human centipede right here. Yeah. All right. So anyway, Antonio Cesaro against Dolph Ziggler, and it's a great match because you got two guys who are very talented. And when you hear this match announced, these guys, one of them's going to be in the chamber.
Yeah, it's the chamber.
This is cool.
Qualifying match.
Yeah, this is cool. Like I was excited, right? And great match. They're hitting their spots. Dolph doing his stuff. It ends with Cesaro does the giant swing. And he does what you should do after you do the giant swing, which they haven't allowed him to do yet. He does his finisher and wins the match. Holy shit. So you do the signature move, the finisher, and you win the match? Like, that's what you should have been doing ever since you started this move.
It is sad that he beat Ziggler, though, of all people. It's like,
well,
you can never have like a pure moment in the company. It's
right,
like,
and here's the
you
thing.
keep like, oh, Cesaro's going to the chamber, but it's like, oh, he beat Ziggler.
But he beat Ziggler, right?
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, again, Ziggler had a push. Ziggler had the crowd behind him at the Rumble. The crowd still wants him.
That's why they don't push him.
So they don't push him.
Don't you sense the theme here? If you like it, they will take it away.
Right. You're absolutely right.
If you like it, they will destroy it.
So then
That's
after the match, a lot of people might not know this, but after the match, exclusive on the WWE app, which is stupid in my opinion, they do an interview with Dolph Ziggler, and he does a shoot. It's an actual shoot. He's like, listen, he's ripping pissed, he's yelling, he's screaming, he's like, I fucking work my ass off. I go out there and I put on a show every night.
I fucking work my ass off.
He says fuck you.
He didn't say that.
Yes, he did. Fuck.
No,
Vince.
he did not.
No, he doesn't say that. All right, so but he's like basically. Let me summarize. He's very emotional.
He says I worked hard.
He's very emotional. He says I work hard and I strive to be the best. That's why I started wrestling, and people hold me back. He literally says this. He says people hold me back. Like I could main event. I could, I think I'm the total package.
You're too small.
And he even says, people say I'm the total package. People cheer for me. But then someone whispers in my ear, you're not good enough. And they hold me down. And he's like, and I'm tired of it. And he storms away.
You're too small, Dolph. Doesn't matter what these people say.
Right. So
Fella.
To look at if you're management of WWE and you see stuff like that, wouldn't you immediately say, oh shit, we've got a major problem. We've got this talent, this large group of our talent that feel like they're being underused, underutilized, destroyed because we're pushing the wrong people.
Everyone knows that, though. It's what everyone says. It's been like the way for a long time, but they
ignore it.
They don't care.
Right.
They don't care.
The next match,
They don't care what you think. It's
next
not a
match,
fan-friendly company. It's not a company of a community. It's people playing politics, keeping their spot, and putting themselves over. That's what it is.
The next match was a complete vehicle for the split of the primetime players.
They're petty too, by the way. They're childish.
Yes.
You look at a lot of things that happened with the WCW guys that came in. When we get to the Punk thing, I want to talk about how they unfollowed him on Twitter and just stupidity like a fifth grader, would act. It's a lot of how they go about things.
All right. So Ryback and Curtis Axel against the primetime players.
Them again.
Darren Young during this match
on all these shows
suffers an injury, a serious injury.
Really?
Yeah. What's his name? Curtis Axel gives him a boot when he's on the ring apron, and it completely rips under his lip here.
Oh jeez.
So he's gushing blood out of his chin. It's like they couldn't cover it up. Like how are you going to cover that up? So and it's funny because of all times, this is the match where they have this whole thing after the match. They have to do this skit. So he's like blood coming off his face and shit.
What was the skit? Freaking Titus vomiting onto the freaking cut or something?
Yes. No, he grabs a mic and he goes, "Really? 2 minutes? You lost the match for us in 2 minutes? All you've done is hold me down since I joined you, and so I'm not gonna screw you or whatever, And Darren's like, "No, we'll talk about this in the back. Don't do this." And then he freaking attacks him, and he beats the shit out of him. He stomps him repeatedly,
really?
Beats his face, and I'm like, he's gushing blood, asshole. Can you stop it for a second? Have the ref stop the cut so that he can freaking do this angle? No, you have to do it now. There's blood coming off his face, beating his face in the blood. So I don't know. So basically, Titus O'Neil is a heel now.
What the? Well, that's not gonna end well for anyone.
What
do you think the chances were? Just off topic here.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the % chance was that Titus got the bad news gimmick, and then Barrett got the vomit? Because it seems like they just kind of randomly delivered these things out.
I think they have like a hat.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
like that
saying.
lotto thing they do.
Yeah.
And they just reach in, they grab the
Like,
bad
you're,
gimmick.
You're doing that one.
You know, what's this one?
Yeah. I think
So-
you're right.
So,
I think you're right on that.
the next qualifying match for the Elimination Chamber, Christian returning, even though I didn't know that he left. It's just that they didn't were using him, against Jack Swagger. And it's a good match. You know, it's their typical back and forth, Swagger hitting a lot of different spots. And eventually Christian goes over, and I hate to say it, but it's a waste of a spot in the chamber. You know what they're going to do? They're going to have him work a lot during this match, carry the match, and then ultimately just lose like he always does.
They always do them, yeah.
Like we said months ago when he had the program against Del
Done
Rio.
to him forever.
It's all he does. He's the workhorse, and then he gets nothing for it. So, oh well. Kofi Kingston beats Damian Sandow in a singles match, and nobody cares.
Because the fans like it. He was another one with the Dale Bryan situation. He was
Yep.
when he won the title, and then they took it away, and then
Yep.
all the same people come out that are gotta wait and see where it goes, guys. That's the thing that people always say.
No, this is a
Gotta
good push.
wait.
This is a push
See
for
where
them.
it goes.
This is a push. Don't worry.
The people that say we gotta see where it goes, like when did it ever work out for you?
Right. All right, I know.
People that's been saying that to us for a long time.
See where it goes. Like, okay.
Gotta see where Kevin Nash comes out.
How long do you give them the benefit of the doubt?
Gotta
Seriously.
see where it goes. Yeah, man, it's just you just love abuse.
Cody Rhodes has a singles match with Road Dogg and beats him clean. So I guess this is leading into the rematch that's going to happen on Monday in a steel cage. And then the main event, the Shield get their rematch against Daniel Bryan, Sheamus, and Rey Mysterio. Or actually, I take that back because it's not Cena. They put Rey Mysterio in Cena's position here in
By the way,
this match.
someone made a good point about the chamber. You said Christian's a waste. Everyone's a waste except for Orton because Orton's going to win, obviously, and then so the whole match is a waste.
I guess so. And the Shield in this match go over. Now, why do they go over? Is it because John Cena's not in the match? I don't know, but the Shield's good. And, they put on their usual spots. They're hitting all their finishers. Roman Reigns hitting his spear a couple times. Looks real sweet. So the Shield goes over, and the show goes off
Can
the
you do the
air.
Batista spear? Where he falls at the
Oh,
guy's
no,
leg?
no. He didn't spear the fucking upper thigh.
They should make that. They should make that one of Batista's moves now.
I kind of want to see the gif, like a picture of that when he did
Yeah.
the spear at the Rumble, how bad it was. Spear the leg. He completely
It's
misses.
a new move. You spear the leg.
Spear the leg. So, obviously, what we need to talk about, the elephant in the room here, is we just read you all of Raw and SmackDown's results, and not once did we mention CM Punk. This has been a developing story all week. Ever since the Royal Rumble, no one's seen Punk. We don't know, where is he? And at first, I think they were trying to say that, maybe he's selling his injuries, that Kane messed him up when he threw him out of the ring or whatever at the Rumble. But then when he wasn't on SmackDown either, and then when they had these two qualifying matches for the Chamber and he wasn't in any of them, everyone started wondering what the hell's going on with CM Punk. So this kind of came around about Tuesday night after the tapings when he wasn't on them, all these rumblings.
Yeah.
And come to find out, after doing a little bit of research, people found out that after the Royal Rumble, Punk basically went home, flew home to Chicago, told WWE, fuck you, I'm out, enough of this. And I think that what we need to do is try to at least realistically think from his perspective of, the kind of person he is. He is a very outspoken person. He's gotten in trouble for it a lot of times. And really what this means, okay? Now, first of all, Punk's contracted till July. His contract's up in July.
There's
correct?
rumors between May and June or somewhere around there.
So he was contracted
Because
for another...
if you remember back 3 years ago, that's the contract he made.
Right.
When he was going to go back then.
Right.
He was going to now. 3 years have gone by already.
So he is contractually obligated to work those dates. If he doesn't, he won't get paid for those dates. And for him to kind of just say, fuck it, I'm gone, is a big deal for multiple different reasons. Now, Austin did this back at WrestleMania, what was it, 18, I believe?
2002.
So the reason he did it was
He was
because
supposed to lose to Lesnar
they told him
at a Raw.
that he needs to lose to Lesnar on Raw, and he had to lose to Scott Hall at WrestleMania. Basically, he was going to go on a losing streak, a horrible losing streak. At that
No,
point,
he beat Scott Hall at WrestleMania.
well, he was supposed to lose to him. Like, that was one of the
He
things.
did beat Scott Hall, but then later on it was
Right.
You got to lose put over Lesnar without any build or any just tonight on Raw you lose to Lesnar like out of nowhere. So he said his whole thing was, well, let's do a program where it's like over a couple of weeks and
Right.
pay-per-view and blah blah blah.
So at that point, he kind of did the same thing CM Punk did. Eventually, he did come back. And he did other stuff and they all made up. So Punk, let's just look at the perspective of CM Punk. All right. 3 years ago, he's the hottest commodity in pro wrestling. He was leaving WWE.
He was Daniel Bryan,
He was
And they
Daniel
screwed it
Bryan
up.
3 years ago.
and they said, "Nope, it's not for you, sir."
He was best in the world, crowd completely behind him, came back white hot, wins the title from Cena, leaves the company in a work storyline. They renew his contract, comes back and literally carries the company for a year and a half.
Well, the main problem is he was the hottest thing in all of wrestling. People were watching wrestling haven't in a long time. He was getting all kinds of outside media attention.
Mm-hmm.
The fans loved him. He was doing a character that was unique at the time. And instead of going, this is our top guy now, they throw him into a storyline where Kevin Nash comes out.
Right.
And power bombs him. Which I think right then and there, people should have been like, I'm done with this whole thing. And then, he goes on. They put the belt on him, and he has it for all this time. But I can make the argument that he was the champion for 0 days. He was never the champion.
434 days, but didn't mean anything.
It didn't mean anything. He held the title. He carried it around, but he would be third on the card.
Right.
He was never the top guy. And there's no real reason, when there's no explanation you could give why he's not the top guy. The only reason would be he can't work, he can't talk, he's not over, the fans don't like him, they're not buying the stuff, whatever.
Right.
All those things were 100%. And that they held him back because that's not their idea of pro wrestling. That's not their vision of what wrestling is supposed to be.
And the thing is...
So he's just another guy, but he has the belt.
The thing is, he actually, it's funny because he says this on his DVD, his WWE approved DVD. In his interviews, he says the reason that he was in WWE was to try to show that someone who's not a big roided monster, someone who might not have the look that Triple H and Steph and Vince think is the top thing, could be the top guy. And what he wanted to do with his run in WWE, he wanted to open the door for people like Daniel Bryan, for people like Dolph Ziggler, for people like them to step up and be able to get the limelight.
There's when you watch the show, there's an extreme unfairness. People don't like that. When you that's unfair. And that's the taste you get when you watch the WWE. Why is Daniel Bryan doing this and this guy's there? Why isn't Chris? Years ago, why isn't Chris Jericho? Look at the reaction he gets. Why is Triple H the god? And it's just a bad taste.
Right.
And that's what you always got with Punk. Why? And he was just a cog in that because someone was gonna go, he had the title for all these days. How dare you? They put him over big.
Yeah, but he was never the main event.
He was just a cog, and then as soon as Rock committed, they turned him heel, completely changed him. Fuck him. They don't do that with top guys. They don't do that. They're not gonna just all of a sudden go Cena turn heel to put over put over someone else.
There you go.
They don't do that. So they turn him heel because Rock's coming back. And he's got to put over Rock twice, carry his ass, and then lose to Undertaker, and there you go. There's no reason why.
Recap Punk's journey since that year and a half of being the champion. Okay, drops the belt to Rock, loses to Rock again, has a great match with Undertaker, but of course loses. But I don't think that's really a bad thing because no one's going to beat the streak at this point.
Yeah, but even that was just so poorly put together. It wasn't even like Undertaker wanted to fight Punk. And you go back to Smark guys from last year where we talked about this more. But it wasn't like Undertaker comes back, I want CM Punk because he's the best and I want to beat the best.
Right.
No, they have a shitty
heelish program.
A four-way match where Punk has to win, who just had the belt for 2 years.
Right.
He has to win to earn the spot.
And then he steals the urn. He's running around like a cartoon character.
Paul Heyman's dressed as Paul Bearer and everything. So it was just ridiculous, the whole thing. And then he was obviously just going to lose in the match. And
after that, what did he do? Well, then he goes into a program with Brock Lesnar. Well, no, first it was Ryback, right? No, first it was Curtis Axel. Then it was Ryback.
That went on forever, dude.
Then it was Lesnar, right?
Then it was Curtis Axel again.
Then after that, it was just like the weirdest shit.
The Wyatts are attacking you for no reason.
It was the Shield and the Wyatts, and it was like between 400 different confusing plot lines that you could never even put your fingers around. What the fuck is this going on?
And it looked like, also, if you want to bring up that DVD, he always talked about, I want to headline WrestleMania. It's the last thing I want to do. It looked like that wasn't going to happen this year. They were going to have him versus Triple H.
Well, right now the plot line was him and Kane because of what had happened at the Rumble. And it looked like he'd probably be wrestling Kane for a month or two, and then they would go to him and Triple H at Mania.
And I know the
to
WWE...
which, let's be honest, is Punk really going to go over Triple H at WrestleMania?
Not with his contract coming out in May or June. But to the WWE, like, to Triple H is like this amazing worker. Oh, to them, this is like, you get to work with Triple H. Look at that. That's amazing for you. This is going to be great for you, kid.
Yeah, because it went so good last time, right?
But he's probably like, I got to carry this guy. I got to put this guy on my back. A guy who hasn't worked in a year. Who knows where that's going to be on the card,
Right.
And that shouldn't be what he's doing.
So the way you got to do is put it in perspective of Punk, right? He's thinking, this whole time I've been with WWE, I really tried hard to change things. I tried to show that someone like me, my body type, could be a top guy. I held the title for a record amount of days. But really, what have I accomplished? Look at the past year and a half since I dropped this title and what's been going on in the WWE. And obviously, he's against it. He doesn't believe in what's going on in WWE. He probably has a lot of issues with the stuff that's happening. Now, a lot of the rumors this week was that he specifically left because Dave Batista was brought in.
No,
I don't believe that for a second.
There's an interview he did on Saturday, the day before the Rumble at some
Right.
Comic-Con. I don't know if you guys saw that. But he talks about how Batista's his friend. He likes Batista. So it's not has nothing to do with that. He also brought up a lot of the things where they don't really know what they're doing or where things are going.
Yeah.
And, he brought up the same thing. Why doesn't Bryan get to do this or this guy gets to do that and things like that?
So CM Punk, I want you to be perspective here. He had two choices. He could either keep his mouth shut, right? Write out his contract, take the WrestleMania payday, which by the way would probably be a big payday for him. Okay.
That's another controversy because now it's on the network.
Well, that's what I was just going to
So
say.
now they don't know.
They don't know what they're making.
He even mentioned that in interviews recently.
Yes.
He doesn't know if there's a bonus or how they didn't tell them.
They don't
anything
know what
about
they're
that.
making now because if you're not taking $80 a pop for a pay-per-view,
How could you do the math?
where are you
if
getting
no-
the bonuses to pay
Yeah.
the wrestlers,
Yep.
right? So they don't know. They're very uncertain right now. So he's thinking, I can work Mania, horrible matches coming up with Kane and Triple H. Who knows what crap they'll put me in until my contract's up, right? Or he could be the outspoken person and try to make a political statement like he's tried to do ever since he started with the WWE. And he basically did the ultimate pipe bomb. And this is bigger than any pipe bomb that he could have ever dropped. He said, fuck you. And he left. And he's gone. He's legit gone. Like, a lot of people are thinking,
Yeah.
this is a work. He'll come back at WrestleMania. And wait a minute. Think about the last time that his contract was expiring. Remember, it was the main fucking focus of the company that, he's leaving, and it was in every plot line. No, this time, he's gone. He vanished. No mention on Raw or SmackDown. No mention on the website. Like John said, WWE now, in their childish bullshit, unfollow him on Twitter. If you actually go to his Twitter account, anything that's WWE related was removed. No images, nothing. It's all gone.
Yeah.
So he's gone. He said, fuck
There's
this.
something weird going on with the wrestling world where everyone thinks everything's a work. The fan attacked Orton in South Africa. That's a work. Everything's a work. Well, some things are works, but these are human beings.
It's pretty easy to
and
tell what's a work and
and
what's
it's a
not.
real company, and there are things that do occur.
Right.
And the other thing, like a way to figure that out, like what's the payoff? There's always got to be a payoff if something is a work, So what would be the payoff there?
Yeah, what's the payoff? Obviously,
He
they
comes
were
back.
building a program with him and Kane. The whole Rumble spot was there for a reason, And it's just so much. It's a culmination of so much shit
If he comes back,
that piles on your shoulders.
If he
and it's
disappears,
like,
it comes back at WrestleMania to fight Triple H. Is that a payoff compared to having him there and then fighting Triple H at WrestleMania?
right.
So I don't know. You see all kinds of crazy stuff. People, he's an asshole. He should write out the contract. The point I want to make is the contracts are bullshit. They're independent contractors, not employees.
Right.
So even though you have a contract, they could say at any moment you're released and that you go on that 90-day period where you get paid, but you're going to be fired.
Right.
So the contracts are bullshit anyway, and that doesn't exist in like real entertainment or sports because there's sports entertainment. That doesn't really exist like major sports. There's like guaranteed
Right.
deals.
If the contract is severed, you get some kind of a severance, a huge settlement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it happens. You see professional athletes get injured and released, but they make a big
They
payday.
still get paid.
Versus this,
there's
it's
no
like,
entertainment thing where like a movie where you can't do it and then or something.
why don't you? I'd love for someone to tell me another professional sport where you have to work the amount that these guys work. You have to travel the amount that they travel. And CM Punk, let's think about it. In his run, his major
He busted
run,
his ass. He broke his ass for
he
that.
took one break for 1 month. That was all he ever took. And you can argue, but what about John Cena and all that? Cena's been injured left and right? But here's the thing, that
Cena's
I like.
treated with the utmost respect.
This is-
almost overboard.
This is what I like about Punk. Punk is the kind of guy, right? He loves wrestling and he stands his ground when it comes to his beliefs. And unlike John Cena, who John Cena has publicly said on TV, his storyline, which is probably true, I love wrestling. I don't know how I would live without being in this ring. I have to be here as much as I possibly can be. I don't ever want to take time off. This is my life. Punk's like, I love wrestling, but I got other shit that, you know what I mean? Like, this isn't
can't use
my
Cena as
end all
an
and
example.
be all of my existence.
You can't give Cena as an example because he's the anomaly where he gets everything and
It's so
he's
weird.
he's the the poster boy, and he makes the most and everything.
So that's what I mean. Like, at least Punk understands there's bigger picture. You know what I mean? Cena is wrestling. Punk is wrestling's very important, but there's bigger picture.
They never treated him right, and all he ever did was work his ass off.
Right.
And everyone appreciated it, and there's no reason why they always held him back.
Like I said,
look how long it took. You go back to 2011. He was already there for a long time before he got to have that chance there, you know.
So, like I said, this was the ultimate pipe bomb. This was the way to really make a political statement. I think that Punk has done, what he needed to do. And whether you love him or you hate him for it, if you're a fan and you wanted to see him through Mania or whatever, maybe you're disappointed. But as a fan of CM Punk and his philosophies and all that stuff, I can't. And here's the thing. I think I would rather have him leave it as it is right now than go through several months of crap storylines, bad matches, him busting his ass, breaking his body to carry these assholes through 4 months of bullshit.
Just so Triple H could put himself over,
right?
And Batista could come back. And
Enough.
It's very easy to sit there and go, "Oh, this guy should do this for me. I'm a fan, and I want to see he should be doing this and that." But you don't know. This is a human being. There's other things going on.
People are very self-entitled.
There's other things going on that we'll never know about. I'm sure. There's all kinds of things happening.
I'm sure there could be other stuff.
You don't know his physical condition. You don't know what it is. So you can't make a judgment like that and be like, he's a dick. He should.
People, especially on the internet, and trust me, I know this from personal experience. People on the internet tend to be very self-entitled, where they think they deserve everything for free when they want it. So a lot of people are ripping CM Punk a new asshole, and I disagree with that whole thing.
I guess you have the right to judge, but you can't really understand what's going on.
Right.
There's probably a few people that do.
And by the way, I'm not saying that what CM Punk did was right. Absolutely not. From a perspective of business, it's completely unprofessional. It's one of the most unprofessional things you can do, because now WWE has to quickly rewrite everything. As we just said, at the Elimination Chamber, you've got Christian and Cesaro, who more than likely weren't going to be in the chamber. What John and I were actually hypothesizing was it probably would have been Punk, and then Kane interjects himself into a spot because he wants to eliminate Punk. And so, it's them two kind of eliminating each other at Elimination Chamber or whatever. And then all of a sudden we have to rewrite everything, bring back Christian. Cesaro kind of gets a little bit of a push there, which is a nice thing. But, now WWE for months, I'm sure they had things, house shows, he's off all house shows. What about all the people who bought tickets just to see Punk? So it is, from a business perspective, it's fucked up. So I'm not saying that that's right what he did. I'm saying I'm not going to run him down and talk shit about him.
He doesn't owe us anything.
Right. I think for the years that he's been in WWE, he's done a ridiculously good job.
They've made more off of him than he ever made from them.
Right.
That's how any situation, your boss always makes more off of you.
You can't see it, but right here I've got the 434-day plaque hanging above my living room. Regardless if Punk ever returns to WWE, that will always remain something that I'll keep as a keepsake of the fact that this guy did amazing things, stood on his laurels, and went out his way.
And he could come back at some point. I think short term he's going to be gone. Long term you never know.
Austin did. I mean, Austin's he always comes back. So
Austin, he got more though. They gave him more though. I think Punk, there's a disrespect factor that he feels.
Yeah, I feel that.
They held him back for so many years. Mm-hmm. He finally broke out on his own, and then they still had to fuck that up.
Well, you see, here's what it is. I think with Austin, it's the same situation, but when Austin was getting to the point where they were going to start disrespecting him, that's when he said, fuck you, and he left.
The only reason...
Punk put up with it for years.
Yeah.
That's the difference here.
Well, Austin would have never gotten pushed in the first place if they had no choice.
Right. Well, that's true.
So that'd be like if Cena and like a few other people left, they'd be like, all right, Punk, we have to go with Punk,
All right, so we've been talking en masse about WWE. We'll see where it goes from here. Right now, huge turmoil within the company. Obviously, it's
an interesting situation.
Fan opinion is not with them. What's going to happen when this network launches?
They're still going to pay for all the shows.
I'm going to tell you this right now. This is
watch all the shows.
Based directly as a result of this pay-per-view, the Royal Rumble. I will no longer be buying WWE pay-per-views in the future. I'm going to say that right now up front.
Oh, you're going to try out the network, though.
I am going to try out the network for the 6-month, whatever requirement it is. Okay? And I will make my judgment about watching future pay-per-views and giving WWE my money in the future based off of how well the network goes and how it's running, and if I feel that it's entertainment enough for me to spend 10 or whatever amount.
How is it 10? It's not really 10 a month though. It's more like because you can't cancel in between.
Right. It's $60 for 6 months.
It's $60 for 6 months.
That's what it is.
Because you can't go all do 2 months and stop, right?
No.
Okay, so
Nope.
that's kind of
You have to. I believe it's 60 up front. You have to pay
60
it
up front. So $60 for 6 months is what it is.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's coming soon. We'll be talking more about that as we approach it. It'll be fun because that night I'm going to try it. That night on Raw. What I'll do.
Speaking of that, though, by the way, they did stream the Royal Rumble from their site, and there were many reports of problems. So hopefully by the time the network is for WrestleMania, which is going to be a lot of people.
I think it'll be a different service, like
I think so.
on demand versus
Yeah.
versus.
Streaming is not perfect, as you know.
No, it's not.
There's no good streaming that's 100%.
No, there's a lot of issues and a lot of things that
So
can
I think
happen.
there could be problems you're watching the network and it screws up.
They fuck it up. It could fuck up.
Yep.
All right, now I guess very briefly we'll talk about TNA. We won't go through a huge spiel about anything at this point. TNA, as you know, falling apart at the seams at this point. People leaving left and right. Sting's gone now.
Sting's another thing we can go on an hour about. It's looking like
he may join WWE.
He may go to WWE because they want him not just for like the shows that they do, but for the network. He could be the ambassador for the WCW footage, which they're gonna have quite a bit of,
right?
And other projects and stuff. So he's 55 years old. If it doesn't happen now, I don't think it would ever happen. I kind of don't want to see it because I feel like he's had chances to go there for 20
He's
something
the one
years,
holdout,
and he would never go because he just you got to kind of respect that. He'd rather not that WCW or TNA ever used them really that well. But he could have taken more money and gone there for 20 something years, but he stuck to what he believed was right and did that. So for him to go now, I guess we'll see what happens.
I guess we'll have to see. Yeah, and if it's true, because again, it's a heavy rumor. It's not. There's been no confirmation or any signs of confirmation yet.
It'd be funny if he just never goes, just to really just piss them off, because they're the kind of guy we could have anyone do anything, make anyone do anything. Trish Stratus, get down and bark like a dog, kiss my ass, William Regal.
All right, so let's talk about TNA. TNA right now in a state of flux, losing a lot of people. Right now, the current plot line is that this week the Wolves are signed. They're with TNA, and they're gonna be involved in plot lines. So the show actually opens up.
They're using them.
The show opens up with the Wolves showing up in a limo, and they say we have this investor we've been talking about for several weeks, who somehow is getting control of the company. We don't even know how, because how does an investor of a company that's not publicly traded get control of the company? Who fucking understands this?
It is really surreal to see those guys. Like, I've been watching those guys a long time, and obviously it's such a very sports entertainment storyline, where they're in limos.
The first thing they do is like so overblown.
Yeah, it's so bizarre to see. But they are using them. I guess the story with that was WWE kept making them do like short-term deals with NXT, where they would keep giving them like tryouts over and over again. Mm-hmm. And I guess when they did the thing with Dixie, it was supposed to be a shot at that. Remember that backstage segment where you're like your tryout matches next week?
Yeah.
It was supposed to be like an inside shot at them or something. I don't think anyone really cared or understood that.
Right.
Those guys are good. Those guys are real good hands. So we'll see.
So they show up and they say, we have the investor. He's in this limo, and we will reveal who the investor is later tonight.
It's very 1997.
It's like, so he's gonna sit in the fucking limo the whole show. Like, yeah, it's very old school kind of promo thing. And then it's announced that Joe and Angle come out and basically say that tonight they want to take on Magnus and Ethan Carter, right? Because they're the only two faces freaking left of the company. Let's face it, at this point,
they're in Scotland, I believe. And the audience looks really good.
That is correct. They are in Scotland for these shows, and the crowd is very hot, which is good. They need that.
Yep.
And they say we're gonna have this match tonight. Magnus says, "All right, we'll have this tag match, but we're gonna have stipulations." So the stipulations is, if they lose, they're fired. So obviously, they're not going to lose because you can't fire two more freaking people, right?
I don't know. When TNA does that, you're like, I don't know. Are they going to fire Kurt Angle here?
And then the other stipulation was if someone pins Magnus, they become the #1 contender.
Okay. Following this.
First match of the night: Madison Rayne and Velvet Sky reuniting to reform the Beautiful People. Even though that wasn't the whole group, it was 3 people. But
there's 4 and then 3.
Well,
and then, now it's 2, I guess.
Now it's 2 versus Gail Kim and Lady Tapa, and it's so weird. It's only like a minute and a half match. I don't know what happened. I don't know if something went wrong. But Lady Tapa gets thrown out of the freaking ring.
That's what it is.
Yeah, and then Madison Rayne just hits the finisher. It's a very odd match. So Madison Rayne is over. And by the way, Chris Sabin comes out.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, Chris Sabin comes out.
And she runs away from him.
No, she says, "If no, we're done. We're through. We're breaking up. Screw you," and she leaves. So that's done apparently on TV. During backstage, it's so funny. Samoa Joe and Kurt Angle jump Bobby Roode because they're pissed at him for interfering in every match, like every week. So they literally say that. They're like, you're such a dick. You interfere in every match. If you come out, we're going to kill you. It's so funny. It's like two bullies, like bullying on a little kid.
That's what happened in real life,
We're going to beat the shit out of you,
Imagine
dick.
you kept having matches and like this guy kept coming out. Like you kick his ass backstage, right?
Yes. It was pretty funny.
Find a friend and team up on him.
It was pretty funny. So we have James Storm and Gunner in the ring again. James Storm apologizes to Gunner. Says, sorry I've been a dick for these past few weeks. I got carried away caring about the title. Bad Influence comes out. And they have a match. And for some reason, Gunner's briefcase was on the line. It made no sense. They're
like constantly putting up on the line. Why?
We're going to have a match and your briefcase is on the line.
Why does he keep doing this, Gunner?
It's so weird.
It's not good. That's not good business, sir.
Yeah, it's really stupid. So Gunner and Storm win. All right, let's see here. A bunch of crap. Rockstar Spud all night was tasked with trying to find out who the investor is, and he can't figure it out.
I saw the segment with him and the Wolves.
Yeah.
Mike Tenay doesn't know what any of the moves are called.
They beat the shit. He beats the Wolves, do a double team move on him. He's like, it's an amazing move in the ring. It's like, you don't even know anything about it.
RVD was there. He didn't know any of the moves. None of the names.
Whoa, what a nice splash attack.
Yeah, he just didn't even bother to know.
Let's see. The Bromans against Eric Young and Abyss. This is complete waste. So somehow, over the past few weeks, Eric Young has finally turned Joseph Park back into Abyss. He succeeded, okay? But the thing is that Abyss is like, he's not really controllable. Like, he's like, does weird shit. He'll attack Eric during the match. He'll kill the ref during the match.
I have an important question for you when you're done here.
Okay.
I want an answer.
So this is going to be a tag titles match. And of course, predictably during the match, Abyss attacks Eric Young. Abyss does a freaking giant finisher move to the ref. Like, kills the ref. I feel bad for the ref. He's probably even in the hospital now. So finally after the match, Eric Young's like, that's enough. I had enough of this bullshit. Next week, I want to have a Monsters Ball match with you because you're a dick. The whole theme of the night was I've had enough because you're a dick.
You're
I'm
a
going to
dick.
get you back because you're fucking
I'm so
dick.
tired of it.
I'm so tired of being a dick and beating me up every week. So Monsters Ball next week.
Yeah.
Pretty funny. All right, so what was your question?
All right, here's my question for you. Sir.
Yes.
We know that Joseph Park turns into Abyss when he bleeds.
That's right.
How does Abyss turn back into Joseph Park?
Well, he doesn't anymore.
Well, before.
That's the thing. He doesn't turn anymore.
But how did he do it before?
He would snap out of it. He would just snap out of it in the ring.
He would just snap out of it?
Remember? He would just go, oh, and be okay again.
I'm thinking maybe he has to do something backstage in order to...
He has to jerk off. He releases the aggression, and he's fine. He turns back to
Yeah. That's what I think. That's what I was going to reply.
Okay,
it's disgusting, but it's the only explanation I think is
okay then.
That exists.
It's then announced that Bully Ray is going to have a casket match with Anderson, although they don't call it a casket match, they call it a coffin match because I guess they don't want to get in trouble with WWE. Even though, let's think about it, who else does casket matches besides WWE? Because isn't that like the Taker's gimmick?
It was done before the Undertaker, but
kind of weird.
It became Undertaker's thing.
Yeah. So they're going to have a match coming up.
It is stupid, yes, I agree.
Yeah. And then finally, the main event, Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe end up winning this match, and I believe it was Samoa Joe puts Magnus into the submission. The what's it called? The
Coquita clutch.
Coquita clutch. I can't remember the first word. So he makes Magnus tap out. Magnus now has to give him a title shot. We don't know when yet. It's probably going to be at Lockdown, I would assume. Then the weirdest thing happens.
The investor comes.
So lights turn off.
Yep.
A clock starts ticking. What the hell's this? The fuck is going on? Lights go back on. The Wolves come out, and with them is the mysterious investor.
Their best friend.
Now, hold on. Don't spoil it.
I'm not spoiling it. It's just weird to see why these guys even. How do they even know each other?
So I was all night. I was hypothesizing. I was like, who could they have got? It could be good. They bring someone back. I thought maybe this is how they bring Bischoff back after being off TV for a while. That would be pretty good. Who could be a legitimate investor who has a lot of money? I mean, just trying to think, brainstorming in my head, who would it be? So many people.
Maybe Hogan's back.
That they could. I didn't think it would be Hogan. I thought maybe someone middle tier. Something like that to bring someone back. But I never thought. I thought it would be someone old. Someone who's like someone. Okay, they have money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's the Raw Anonymous GM.
It's of all people. I don't even want to say it because it's so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
MVP. What?
There were some rumors about it, but it wasn't like, he's definitely coming.
It doesn't even make sense. Like, no, wait a minute. MVP, why? First of all, the whole plot line makes no sense. An investor now had... Oh, by the way, because I forgot to mention, the main event, the investor made the stipulation that there could be no interference. Like, what? So because I invested money in your company, I now can control the whole fucking thing? Or I'm going to go buy some Apple stock, and I'm going to tell them to make an iPad that's like this fucking big, and this is all they're going to make.
They have to do it.
A wall-size iPad.
They have to do it.
From now on.
They have to do this.
How does this work? How do they think that this is how it does? This is not how
Not only that, but
works.
It's a very generic storyline from 20 years ago. They're still running.
It makes no fucking sense at all. It's very confusing.
I like MVP. He's really good. He's been in Japan for a couple of years. I saw him a couple new shows. He's been a great worker. It is an odd position for him to be in.
I don't get it. Because he's a wrestler, he's a worker. Yet he's now like this guy who has some kind of control.
He's got money.
He's got all this money. When did he get all this money? If he has all this money, why is he wrestling? You know what I mean?
He likes the competition, but he is balling. So it
just doesn't make any sense. I don't understand.
I like MVP though, and I think I don't know. The back and forth. You're gonna see Dixie Carr go back and forth with MVP. That is weird.
Yeah.
On the mic, that is bizarre.
I could see, her with Bischoff. That'd be good.
No, it wouldn't be good. But
it would be because Bischoff is good on the mic, and he would rip her an asshole. You can't even speak.
But you don't want Bischoff there.
I don't know, as a figurehead, not in control. As a character, I like him there. Not as anything in any kind of creative control.
I like MVP though. I think he'll give you some really good matches. It is really weird. It's like him and the Wolves of all. It's like such a...
Where did that come from?
It's such a weird mix, man.
It's like fucking...
It's a weird mix.
I don't know. It would be like... the best comparison I could give is like...
3 random people. That's what...
It's like Spawn teaming up with like fucking, Batman and Robin or something weird. It's like, huh? Like what? Like 2 different universes coming together.
It's all different weird universes.
The oddest plot line I've ever heard of in my life.
Those guys are really good wrestlers, though, all 3 of them. So if you let them do stuff,
right,
it could be good.
So that's what's going on.
We have to see what happens, where it's going.
We have to wait and see where it's going.
We have to wait and see where it's going.
Give them the benefit of the doubt. I don't understand.
Forever.
They will do what's good in the long run.
An eternal benefit of the doubt.
This will be a great push for the Wolves and MVP. They will all become the World Heavyweight Champion at the same time, and we will have a great program coming up. Yes.
I don't know what to say, man.
I don't know, man.
I did see the spoilers coming up. A lot of this stuff is really stupid that happens.
Don't spoil.
I won't, but I'm just saying it's crap.
We don't read spoilers. We're fans of wrestling.
I do for TNA because I don't care.
All right, so...
I'm excited. This week, AJ Styles is going to be on Ring of Honor TV, which I'm going to watch. I get to sit back and watch wrestling. I don't have to be stressed out or mad or upset about something. I just... watch a show that I like, and everyone else could go complain on Twitter about things, and I don't really care. So there you go.
There you go. So
yeah, it's nice.
Ooh, what a week it's been.
It's nice to have that away.
What a whirlwind week it's been.
I'm free of Triple H. They can't hurt me anymore. And people can knock Ring of Honor. The guys are small. The arenas are small. You can say stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's a wrestling show. It doesn't insult your intelligence. It's made for adults, and it's pretty good stuff going on there. So
all right,
can't really deny that.
There you go.
The arenas are too small. Can't watch it.
So that is it for Smark, guys. This is the longest episode we've ever done. By the way, hour and a half. That's how long we've been talking.
There's a lot going on.
It is what it is. So we thank you for joining us and being patient, talking about all the crap in WWE that happened. Next week we'll be back, obviously, to follow up on all that and see where the hell they're going, especially
with a quieter week.
The rewriting and everything that they had to do. But yeah, I think it will be. I think it'll be back to business as usual. You'll have your usual filler matches.
Let me get my predictions now. SummerSlam.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Batista versus Cena main event. This is January. Let's see if this happens. This is good. How many months ago? That's a long time from now.
And my prediction. Months? So here you go. That's your prediction. My prediction is they will use the same promos that they did 5 years ago when they had their WrestleMania match, if you remember. Oh, Batista caught John when he was jumping, and he powerbombed him, and he broke his neck. When John came back from the neck, and Batista will say, whenever you wrestle me, you get hurt. It's going to be the same shit. The same fucking stuff will be redone. And it's going to be just like right now we had Cena Orton. It'll be the same with Cena Batista. The same plot lines. Everything, and we'll all be, what the fuck happened?
That's a good 8 months from now, so I think that's a pretty bold statement, but I believe that will be the main event.
We'll see. Well, you never know, because now you might have screwed yourself, because what if Batista gasses or gets hurt or something,
They don't care. They'll put him out there for just to do like wrist holds and shit. They don't care. They don't care about the wrestling side. They just it's Batista, a movie star. He's in the match.
Guardians of the Galaxy. He'll be cool. He'll give us a push. Let's get him out there.
Oh, the movie will be like oh god, the movie's gonna be out around then. So they'll be even worse.
He'll even, in the match, he'll have the green paint on. He'll be green like in the movie, and he'll come out,
Maybe.
I think so.
Rocket Raccoon will come out.
Jax the Destroyer. Yeah, Rocket Raccoon will interfere in the match. Vin Diesel will be coming out. Everyone, the whole cast will fucking come out and interfere in the match and shit. All right, well, that's it for Smark, guys.
Oh, yeah, one more thing, quickly.
Oh, my God.
It's come out now, WWE. Remember we went to WrestleMania?
Yes, we did.
And what's happening now for WrestleMania is a lot of wrestling fans come from all over the world, and they're just there for several days.
Mm-hmm.
And all these other wrestling companies are running shows that people like to go to. It's something else to do. We went to Ring of Honor.
Right.
There's all kinds of other stuff, the WrestleCon. There's all kinds of other different shows.
We walked right by WrestleCon.
Yeah, we're across the street.
Yep.
But WWE, for WrestleMania 31, they're already taking steps to block everyone else from showing up and doing anything. So they're signing exclusive deals with like all the venues and the hotels. So they're basically blocking everyone else from showing up and doing anything. I don't see how that hurts them that these other companies come. It's not like they're all there for WrestleMania anyway.
Right.
So it doesn't. I don't think it affects them in any way.
I don't know.
They're just there. It's something else for people to do.
Maybe the way they see it is if they are the only thing there, they know that they're going to take 100% of the profits of anything that takes place.
But no one's going just to like one thing and then leaving. They're all going to the WWE stuff too.
Oh, I know. I mean, I'm not saying
they're insecure, paranoid people.
I think that they want to have the feeling that this is their event.
Yeah.
They are wrestling, and therefore, if you're going to WrestleMania, you're going for WrestleMania. You're not going for everything else.
If anything, for certain people, it helps. It's a draw to go because I could go to this and that and.
Yeah, I mean, that was awesome how we were able to go to Ring of Honor.
We probably wouldn't have gone for the Friday.
Access.
Let's say there was only WWE. We would only would have gone the Saturday maybe. We would have gone the extra day. So we were there an extra spending money in the city. So, I don't know. They're dicks.
They're dicks. All right.
WWE, they're dicks. TNA is stupid. That's the end of the show.
WWE, they're dicks. TNA, if you've been a dick, we're going to get you. That's what the plot line was this week.
Well, the company's
and the company's stupid.
Yeah, and
all right.
they're just dicks.
So what's worse? Is it worse to be dick or is it worse to be stupid?
I don't know. I don't even know anymore.
I guess the bright side is no one's a stupid dick, so it could be the worst of both worlds.
I don't even know anymore.
All right, so that's it for Smart Guys. Thank you, everyone. Next week we'll be back, hopefully a much shorter show.
Yeah.
We'll have a lot less to talk about. Or on the flip side, maybe we'll have good stuff to talk about, but I don't know. I don't know if we want to go that far to say that. So thanks for watching, and next week we'll be back with a more normal show. That's it. Peace out, everybody.
They like it long and hard.
They like it long and hard.
Long and hard. And stupid
dicks.
Yes.